Good morning, Philippines! Good morning, Kamindanawan!
Filipino parents have been recently very concerned about the new normal education amidst this pandemic, in which this societal phenomenon have been affecting the learning of their children. And we will going to talk about that here at our morning show.
This is Mary Catherine Aldiala.
And this is Florian Sultan, your host, and you're watching Real Life Talk.
In today's event, in Real Life Talk, we will tackle the social factors that influences the learning of the students before and now. And to better understand this event, please help me welcome our visitors to discuss and share to us their insights about these social factors. They are teachers from a different region and municipality.
Yes, partner, I agree with that. And so we also have our concerned parents to be our guests in our show this morning.
We are going to start with Teacher Sumaya from Malapatan Elementary School. She will explain and share to us what is her insight about this phenomena.
Absolutely, to have a clearer understanding.
Hello, Miss Florian, and to the audience also. Thank you very much for welcoming me today. I am really honored to be here and to share my thoughts also as a teacher towards social factors that affect the behavior of the learners. Well, first of all, students before are used to be in face-to-face classes. Although sometimes they are tired from the activities and the lessons, but they do enjoy it because of their peers. They tend to become socially active when it comes to participating to the lessons. But today, we are now facing a trial times where we have to be in our home and online classes as a flexible learning became a new norm amidst the pandemic. For me, a social factor that affects their behavior is the anxiety that they encounter. Anxiety would probably has negative influence to the academic progress and it encourages underachievement. For example, a student may have nice work one day and barely to be able to complete single task the next. Their unpredictable behavior can also be a sign that anxiety might be present. When students are dealing with anxiety, they are more likely to disengage in classroom. This can cause them to participate behaviors that will allow them to avoid certain events and situations. For example, missing class that will result to dropout. The Center for Emotional Health at Macquarie University states that 49% of adults with anxiety reported leaving school early and 24% claimed that anxiety was the primary reason for them leaving. As a teacher, my advice is parents should always observe their kids, especially you audiences who are listening today. Even if they are progressing or not, you should always be there to motivate them, especially in these trying times, because we teachers cannot check them one by one, and you parents can be their second teacher to guide and support them. Listen to them just like a friend and provide their needs, such as full support when they encounter hardships in completing their tasks. By that, they would feel that they are not alone, that there is someone who is willing to cheer them up. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Teacher Sumaya, for sharing that crystal clear insights, ma'am.
And now, let's go to Teacher Riabel from the municipality of Malungun for her further insights.
Hello, Miss Catherine, and to all of our audiences who are listening to this program. A pleasant day to each and everyone, and thank you so much for inviting me as your guest today. It is my pleasure and honor to share with you about the things that I have observed and experienced as a teacher in these new normal settings. In our locale, I could say that pandemic caused a huge factors to our society in which it dramatically influenced the learning of our students. Teacher plays a vital role to the learning of students. Hence, it really makes sense that they are the essential individuals who influence the learning of every learners. I still have remembered before when face-to-face classes are available, the parents relied their children's learning only to school based on what teachers taught them, whereas every children's learning is being facilitated and guided properly. On the other hand, currently, as a teacher, I could say that some parents are not totally literate compared to other parents who attained or completed their education. That is why new normal methods of learning, which is the distribution of modules to parents and children, is a great challenge for them. Compared to those children that has literate and well-educated parents and elder siblings beside them, the new methods of learning is carried out and went well for them. However, less fortunate children suffered a lot to learn because their parents are having a hard time to teach them dissimilar to what teacher taught them before. Thus, as a teacher assigned here, we conducted home visiting once a week to our students as a simple way to address this matter.
I agree with your guest, Mom Riabel. That is wow, and it gave us a better idea. And now, what do you think are the common issues or problem, Mom Eurasia Romano from Fatima Elementary School?
Thank you, Miss Kat, and also hello to our audience. So, before anything else, I would like to thank you guys to give me opportunity to share my thoughts here in your show. Thank you! Well, first of all, my opinion about the social factors that affect the behavior of the students is their environment. Why? Because as I observe, a lot of students in our community affect their behavior because of their peers and house setting. On the other hand, we all know we experience pandemic where we cannot allow to learn face-to-face, instead modular or online learning. So, because everyone have gadget, we cannot deny that our students will adopt it. So, as a result, they will expose to online games and social media. Instead of answering their modules on time, they will finish it last hour or maybe they didn't submit it. Personally, it really affects the behavior of the students because of the new system right now. The students will become lazy, dependent, not focused, and irresponsible in terms of doing activities. But for my advice, dear audience, especially to our parents who listen to our podcast, let's guide and help our kids to focus on their study. Do their activity on time and do not expose too much to online apps and games. Dear parents, be a role model and advisor to our students because we sadly experience pandemic. Only we can do is to serve and help your kids in terms of learning. Thank you and keep safe.
Well said, ma'am. And so, stay tuned, our dear listeners, as we will back after a short moment break.
Protect yourself and loved ones. Help prevent the spread of respiratory disease like COVID-19. Tips to prevent COVID-19. First, wash your hands. Wash your hands with soap and warm water regularly. Second, cover a cough or sneeze. Hatching! Cover a cough or sneeze with your sleeve or tissue. Dispose of tissue and wash your hands afterward. Third, don't touch. Avoid touching eyes, nose, or mouth, especially with unwashed hands. Fourth, keep your distance. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Remember, practice social distancing. Fifth, stay at home. If you experience respiratory symptoms like a cough or fever, stay home. 6. Get help. If you experience symptoms of COVID-19, just like cough, fever, shortness of breath, call your healthcare provider or local health department before seeking care. This advisory is from the Department of Health. Hashtag ligtas ang may alam. Hashtag labanan ang COVID-19. Hello again, Kamindanawan! We're back! Sana all! And now, to hear their thoughts about these issues and problems, let's hear the experiences and questions of our dear guest, no other than parents who had their children that currently studying in this new normal education and been affecting the social factors.
So, please help me welcome Mrs. Glorylyn Gallego and Mrs. Daylin Kawag.
Hello everyone, I am Mrs. Gallego and I would like to share the experience of my grade 4 daughter dealing with this new normal way of learning. So, yes, my daughter is a slow learner. She is the kind of the student that you need to explain to her everything before she gets what's the topic all about. I can say that my daughter has a difficulty to learn on her own. That is why she needs a guide
for her to learn. I can't teach her because I am just an elementary undergraduate and I even don't know how to read. The DepEd TV won't help also because of the influence of the other children. She rather play with her playmates every day than to watch TV. I can't also stop her from playing because I will feel sorry when she is struggling to answer her module and learn nothing while other children is busy playing outside. That is why I think this modular learning and DepEd TV is not effective to everyone. So now I would like to ask you teachers if there's any advice or any other way to help my daughter to learn. That's all, and thank you.
Actually, modular approach is the new standard and one of the effective way to cope up the quality education for students in these trying times. So yeah, your concern, Mr. and Miss Gallego, has many possible solutions, and we cannot just take the fact that these are the common concerns of many parents that has the same situation with you. Well, in response to that, my advices are, to those parents who have television at home, you can manage your children's time to watch DepEd TV and play. Meanwhile, to those parents who have phone and gadgets, we can manage to make a recording lecture video and share it to you for your children to be able to watch and listen to their lesson. Then, for the students who live in remote areas who are struggling in having an access on TV or any gadgets, we can plan some alternative way of teaching, like visiting them once or twice a week in order for them to cope up their lesson. So yeah, I hope these advices will somehow help you to your concern, Mr. and Miss Gallego. Thank you so much for sharing it to us.
So let me just add something on teachers Reabel's response. Since there are some parents who can't read the book that their child is holding because of either a literacy or a language barrier, or in some cases they are undergraduate, there are also many ways for them to help their child while learning at home. They can ask for help on their relatives, neighbors, or approach the teacher of the child, because since we are all struggling in today's new normal education, there's nothing wrong in asking help. And lastly, they can also help their child emotionally, because I think that is what we need for. And by encouraging them to do good at one task and spreading positivity.
Without further ado, let's hear the concerned parent number 2, Mrs. Dailene Kawag.
Good morning, everyone. I am Daylene, and thank you for inviting me here. By the way, I am a single mom of my 2 kids. We're now experiencing pandemic, so I experienced a lot of struggles. Like I am too busy doing my work as parents, especially doing laundry, cooking, and washing dishes, and many more. And I have also my job to sustain the needs of my kids, for I am single mom, where I have no time to teach them to their modules. As an uneducated mother, it's difficult to me to teach them, for I am not good in it. They are very pressured because they are expected to graduate on time. However, in the system implemented by DepEd, the child is increasingly asked about the amount learning of them. Especially, my sons ask me about this if he can acquire throughout the academic year. So my question, ma'am, is can we blame the children for being lazy in school, especially doing his modules? We just now is online learning and they have not learned much.
Hi, Miss Daylene. Well, in my opinion, I respect you for being so concerned about the learnings of your children, but we cannot blame them and the system today because, as we all know, we are all struggling from this thing, but there are many ways to improve the academic progress of the children through online classes. For them to have successful online learning and to learn very well, children can set goals at the beginning of the semester and check it weekly. In a traditional classroom setting, they often receive a verbal or visual reminders of an assignment's upcoming due date. But without a professor actively reminding them, it's up to them to make sure they've allotted enough time to complete the work so that they are not starting an assignment the day before it's due. Another is, we know that laziness is also the reason why students cannot do their tasks completely. But here's a tip. Allow them to create a weekly schedule that they follow, designating certain hours each week to reading, watching lectures, completing assignments, studying, and participating in forums. Commit to making the online coursework part of their weekly routine and set reminders for them to complete their tasks. Thank you very much.
Hello again, guys! So, I will add to what Teacher Sumaya said. So, personally, your concern, Mrs. Kawag, I understand you and I know that you are busy in your work. But, my advice to you is give time to check your kids. Motivate and support them. With or without honor, by that, they will feel motivated to learn the lesson. Thank you!
Definitely, this is a mind-blowing real-life talks that addressing the social factors wherein it influences the learning of the students.
Yes, partner, I agree. Thank you, Teacher Sumaya and Teacher Romano, for that wonderful insights. And also, thank you, Mrs. Kawag, for your sharings.
Based on our guest answers or thoughts, partner, we've been through a lot during this pandemic. All are struggling. Teachers, parents, and children are all adjusting in this new normal education. But the most important thing is that the support from our families, because parental involvement is an important factor for a successful education.
Thank you so much, my dear teachers and parents, for your wonderful participations in a real life talk.
Thank you so much, everyone, and keep safe.
And don't forget to protect yourself against from COVID-19. Always wash your hands, wear a mask, and stay at home.
God bless us all. To God all the glory and honor.